All right, rock stars, welcome to this edition of ClickFunnels Training. I am super excited about today. We're going to get through the kind of ins and outs and get a little bit of meat off the bone here inside of ClickFunnels. We're going to do a basic testimonial funnel. And I don't want you guys to get discouraged or anything if you see something, because we're going to do this basically from scratch, right? So everything that we're doing here today is going to be as if I've never handed you a funnel whatsoever. This is going to be 100% from scratch because I just want you to get familiar with the page editor and how it works and the capabilities of it. More than likely, we're actually going to probably make a pretty ugly funnel because it's, the amount of time that we have. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But the idea of this funnel is the testimonial funnel. So we use this to get 5-star reviews from our customers. It's basically a 2-step funnel. I got the concept from a company that was charging $100 a month in order to get customers to submit reviews. And I'll show you, basically they had one little trick that I saw that was able to get 100% 5-star reviews versus you didn't really know what was going on, or you wouldn't know what type of review you were going to get until you got it. So one little trick, one little step was able to alleviate that. I basically built the funnel, copied what they did, and here we are. So no longer have to pay $100 a month for a service, which we call that funnel hacking, by the way. So we're going to get started here. We're obviously at the front page of ClickFunnels, so you guys can see this is where all my funnels live. I have all these tags, so your screen probably won't look like this, but that's fine. The more you build, the more you'll have. So we're going to go ahead and go to Add New because we're going to start from scratch. Now, you guys know inside the membership site, I gave you access to the ClickFunnels cookbook, which is a really cool tool for you guys to use. If you haven't downloaded the PDF, I encourage you to do so. It really explains in detail if you wanted to get down to it. I have this book on my desk right now as we speak. It's just an awesome resource to go back and forth. But what they've done is they took that cookbook concept and they made it to where you can actually build funnels like the cookbook says. So from a very basic standpoint, if you guys want to veer off on your own and try to create your own funnels, it's not a bad idea to go with this cookbook process. But before this really just started a couple of months ago. The classic builder is what they've always had. That's what I'm familiar with. And since we're going to start from scratch, meaning we're not going to use any templates, we're going to go ahead and use the classic builder. So we're going to go ahead and create, and you can see, similar if you guys have seen my Facebook ads training, where we have different types of campaigns inside Facebook ads. And if you're obviously the member site, go to the Facebook ads masterclass, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's almost the same thing here in ClickFunnels. We want to tell them what we want to do because they still have some pre-made funnels for you to work with. So are we hosting a webinar? Are we selling a product? Meaning, do we need a checkout cart and merchant integration, or are we just doing something to collect emails, right? So for us, again, I'm not going to do any of these templates. I'm going to create something from scratch. So I'm literally going to use this custom funnel, and we're going to call this testimonial. Awesome. And we'll tag this as test because why not? So let's go ahead and build this funnel. Take a second here. Now, you see when we open this up, now we still have options. Even though we're building this from scratch, ClickFunnels is still going to give us some pre-made pages that we can actually use as a reference, and it automatically gives us an opt-in because at the end of the day, the first thing that we want to do always, no matter what, is collect customers' contact information, and that's what an opt-in page is. These are just different forms of different types of opt-ins, whether you have a simple, video opt-in, or a lot of the stuff that we do, honestly, is just like a real basic 2-step, which is, name, email address, and phone number. Nothing fancy, no really moving video or anything, the picture of the home in the background, and that's pretty much it. But they have all these different templates you can use. This is actually one that I use a lot as a base because I like this layout and it really converts really well. But we're going to go all the way to the bottom, and we are going to go to opt-in blank start. So we are at a 100% blank slate. So again, as yesterday, you guys can kind of see what this looks like. We have our overview, our automation, which is our email stuff, the publishing. So if we wanted to give this a specific path name, if we don't have a domain name, obviously we can call this testimonial or whatever. I'm just going to leave this blank right now because we don't have any custom domains or anything. And yesterday, I don't know if I showed you this, but the stats are basically, it'll tell you all the different page views. So you'll get all page views, you'll get all the uniques, which these two definitely vary because you'll find people will scope out your page multiple times, but that shows you the uniques. Then it shows you the opt-ins and the conversion rate, which is important. And we'll go over that a little bit more. And then all the contacts that come in through this specific funnel will actually be loaded in here. And this is where we're going to take these contacts and actually shuffle them to whatever CRM, Lion Desk, Real Geeks, whatever your CRM of choice is. We'll throw those there. But so let's go back to the main. And now you see we have our blank page. So we're going to go to edit page. And so one thing I want to talk about is like less is more, right? I've said that a lot. You've heard me say that a lot. And for this purpose, obviously we're already 10 minutes into this training. So I got to speed this up a little bit. I want to keep you here all day. But less is more sometimes. And especially for something like what we're doing today, which is a testimonial page, we're going to show you exactly how we can make this just look really nice, not really complex, very simple and to the point. And so the first thing we want to do, obviously, since this is a white background, we want to put something in the background to make this look a little bit nicer. Now, we can do colors. We can do a background video. Sometimes putting video in is not necessarily the greatest idea because the video can take some time to actually load. And sometimes people don't like to wait that, 5, 6, 8 milliseconds it takes for a video to load. So they'll end up bouncing off. So we can do a solid color. You see how it's if we wanted to just do solid gray or come back here, whoops, and we can do an image. So an image is really nice, right? And we have inside ClickFunnels, we have the ability to pull some stock images, which is cool. They have background templates that are already here. And then you can search. And the cool thing about the search is they have searches from Unsplash, which is free media, copyright free and everything, so you don't have to worry about that. And then Icon Finder and Pixabay too. So let's say we wanted to find a picture, I don't know, of the beach, because the beach is nice and soothing. Let's see what this one looks like. I don't know about that. That might just be a little bit too pixelated. So what we kind of want to do, obviously, with this template is we don't want to distract the person from the main goal, which is getting them to click through, but we want to have something nice in the background. So I would say I do not like that one that much. Let's see what I have in here. I probably could have planned this out a little bit better and maybe had pictures ready, but that wouldn't be any fun, right? So how about this beautiful kitchen? I know this kitchen does really well all the time. So here we go. This is beautiful, right? This was one of our listings. And so now we have a beautiful background, just nice, calm, soothing, where it's real estate related. Now, the first thing we want to do is add a section, because what I want to do here is get a little bit of our branding. And we can do that in a couple different ways. Just to see how this ties in to begin with, I want to go ahead and add, let's modify this. Let's take this out of here. So we're going to add a new section. We're going to go, and like I said yesterday, you can go full width, you can go wide, medium, or small. Full width is obviously the full page width, right? Wide is what we just had there before that I deleted because I want to make this a header, if you will, just to see what this looks like real quick. So section width, I'm going to go ahead and go to the backgrounds, and we have these different kind of gradient themes, which end up looking really nice in the long run. Just something a little bit better than a solid color because it jazzes it up just a little bit, gives it just a little bit of texture and sometimes just a little nicer feel. So you can see, okay, so this is a good example. I just added this, And you might say, man, it doesn't go all the way across. Well, that's a simple fix. So we go back to settings, and you can see down here, image position, it has no repeat. So we're going to want to put that on 100% full, and that's just going to drop it all the way across. Now, because this is a white kitchen, that's kind of a gray background. Let's go ahead and change that. That doesn't look too great. Maybe we'll do a more solid color. Let's see what this looks like. No, still too white. Let's try a dark gray. Still a little bit more transparent. Now, all these different adjustments you can use. So if you wanted to have this stick to the top, if you wanted that, obviously it's a full page width. If you wanted to have text, we can have the different text color. And then this is how we can make this larger or smaller. And this is really cool. You guys will learn a lot from this as you start building stuff. Just little tweaks like this, making banners and headers and the space in between lines and everything just a little bit thicker, can make the really big difference overall in the overall look of the funnel itself. So just small little tweaks like that definitely help. Now, so let's say we wanted to keep this. That doesn't look terrible. Kind of matches the backsplash a little bit. And so now we're going to make a new row. And what I want to do here is we can make up to 6 columns. So like I told you before, we can pretty much replicate any website that's out there with all these different column options and choices. And because I want to have, basically, I just want to put our logo over here real nice. I'm going to go ahead and look and see what 4 columns would look like. So that kind of gives me that little bit of space. And so what we're going to do is, this is where we want our image. So we're going to put that blank image. And let's go ahead and take that image and find our logo, which we should have in here. And I apologize if my computer runs slow because we're live streaming to Facebook and Zoom and recording. Sometimes that's a lot of CPU usage, so it might run a little bit slow. Come on. We got to have a logo in here somewhere. Yeah, we can do a combo picture. I kind of like that too, with the black background. Just something to have. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, we're going to use that. Go ahead and add image. So what we can do here now, we can make this a little bit bigger. Let's see what 150 does. No, maybe 250, 350. That's probably about as big as it's going to get. Okay, so now we're kind of hovering in here. And again, we can do that same margin. So we can make this smaller or bigger. I do want to kind of make this tight. So let's make this, keep that where it is. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I know we just changing stuff all the time. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go ahead and go to three columns because I want to put that, I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the middle. But that's the point of ClickFunnels, right? You can see how you could just go ahead and honestly whip through this stuff really easily. Once you really get used to it, it's super easy and super fast to do. So I think that looks a little bit better right in the middle. And we'll do that. Go to advanced. Make sure it's full visible because sometimes it'll tailor it down. Perfect. Keep that top margin down, bottom margin down. Okay, so looking good. Now, what you guys see here, you'll see these are blank, these are blank. So when this page is actually live, all you're going to see is our logo and picture in the middle. You're not going to see these empty elements, which is cool. So now all we need to do, like, you can obviously add stuff from up here. I usually end up just clicking beneath. So what I want to do is add another section. And this section, I only want to go wide. And I'll show you why. Because this is going to be our question. So I want to give this a little bit of space. Okay. And then what I want to do is inside this row. Now we're just going to do one full width column because I want to just do one headline here. Okay. So the headline, whoops, I didn't mean to do a sub headline. Delete that. So we're going to do headline. And this headline is going to say, would you, whoops, rec. Would you recommend us with a question mark? And the funny part about this, right, is this was the little trick. This was the one little tweak that this one company had that we found that I was just like, it was the light bulb over my head that I said I couldn't believe that that I didn't think of this before. So we're gonna do a background color and maybe see what it looks like. Black. We want to match that. That blue doesn't look bad. Again, like I said, guys, we're going to do this fast, so it's not going to be the prettiest funnel I've ever built. Now, I want to take these corners. I want to round these corners a little bit, which we can do here. So do like a 15 point. I want to make these text color white. Okay, so, and now I want to drop this a little bit down, a little bit farther. So this is a very, very simple kind of page here, right? Where it's a landing page. We got a picture of a beautiful kitchen. We got the information up top. So our logo, our header. So when people hop on here, they say, okay, we're in the right place. We know the Sakis group. And then would you recommend us is basically what we're asking them. So now all we're going to do, we're going to hit this plus arrow. We're going to add another, well, this one just needs to be wide. So we're going to add 2 wide columns, and we're going to add 2 elements in here, both 1 column each. Because the element that we're going to put in here is a button. And we're going to have to space these a little bit. Let's take this top margin. Okay. Let me go back to the chat here, see if anybody's got any questions. Nope, you guys are good? Okay, cool. So I want to take this and drop this down a little bit too. Just so we're kind of in eyesight here. And we can adjust the size of these buttons, which I'm going to do here. Let's go to advanced. And we can also do button effects, which is interesting. Like we could do have the button wobble. So if we wanted to say yes or no, because that's what we're going to end up doing here is, this is the first question that we're asking people. So these links are going to take them to a different page. So would you recommend us, yes or no? And this was the aha that I had, okay? Because if you send a testimonial to a customer, okay, or a testimonial page to a customer, typically it's like, hey, go to my Google site or Google page or go to my Facebook page and leave me a testimonial. Well, when you do that, you're kind of, you have no control, okay? And when you have no control of what people are going to say, it kind of makes it a little bit scary, right? So with this, if you set them to this landing page, what ends up happening is now we're pre-qualifying. We're always trying to pre-qualify people. So let's say you had somebody that had a bad experience, right? They see a sophisticated landing page like this. They feel like they're going to maybe get their vent or get their frustrations out, say they had a bad experience with you, which I know nobody has a bad experience with you, but let's say they did. What we're going to do is when they click this button, we're going to give them an opportunity to vent, but now they're not going to vent on a public forum, right? They're not going to put their negative review on Google or Facebook. They're going to put a negative review and another funnel page, which only goes directly to us. Okay. So you see how powerful this is, how cool this is. We can kind of, tailor our 5-star reviews, right? So when we say yes, when somebody clicks yes, we're going to take them to a different page also. And that page is going to allow them to drop reviews directly on our other pages. So it makes it easy for the customer to give us that 5-star review. And then it also just makes it easier for us, so we know exactly. And then I can tell too from the statistics of this funnel if someone came through and hit yes but didn't go any farther, and then we can recontact them and say, hey, we see you didn't go the full way to the funnel, and resend it to them. So let's make this a little bit bigger. This font size a little bit bigger. Let's take that to 30. While we're jazzing this up. And there's small little tricks that you could do. Like if you wanted to have the color of the button like a different color, just small stuff where like you can make this one green and the other one, red, and just little things like that would possibly help with people's attitude. Like, yes or no, I'm angry. I want to put a bad review. So there's all kinds of little tricks that you can do or you can test and just to see. So I'm going to come over here, button alignment, spacing, and this is where you can put icons. The icon picker is kind of cool, so you could do different things. There's all kinds of different icons in here. There's probably, they have a smiley face, yes. So we could do that. If you you want to have a smiley face on the yes and a sad face on the no, maybe, I don't know, possibly. Let's see if they have a sad face. Nope, we'll just leave the happy face on yes. All right, so this is basically pretty much done here, right? So we're going to have, would you recommend us? It's a very simple question, yes or no. And we're going to have to come back to this because what we're going to do is when we set the action of this button, we're basically going to go to that specific URL of that other page. Okay, so when we send this to the yes page or we send this to the no page, and that's basically what we're going to do. So what I want to do, we're going to save this. And whenever you save a funnel from scratch in the beginning, it's automatically going to ask you to title it. And this is, like I said before, this is what the search engines are going to see, or if we actually shared this on Facebook or one of your friends shared this on Facebook. So let's say we called this Sakis Group Testimonial, if I could spell. Testimonial. That's probably wrong anyway. Leave us a 5-star review. Perfect. Keywords, like I said, we're not really necessarily SEO. And then the image URL, again, back to consistency, we could keep this the same exact kitchen. Let's add that. So boom, this is kind of what it would look like if someone shared it. So Sakis Group Testimonial, leave us a 5-star review. Very, very simple. And now we have a saved page. So now we're going to go back to the beginning. And now we need to do a yes page and a no page, because the yes page is going to have all the information of where they go to. So let's call this yes page. And again, it's automatically going to default. The other thing we could have done here is if we did this opt-in, okay, and this is kind of an easier step too. So maybe I'll show you this. So here's the opt-in page. Here's what we just built. If I go down here in the right-hand corner and hit clone funnel step, now it's going to take that funnel, that page that we just built, okay, and we actually just cloned it. And then when we cloned it, it went down here, okay? So now we could take that step and add it back into the funnel, and now we have the same exact page again. So if we wanted to, like I could get rid of this yes page that we just created that it would have started from scratch, and I could take this, now we have 2 identical pages. And now we can just take this page and modify that, because let's face it, maybe we want to keep the background picture the same. Maybe we want to keep everything looking very, very similar. And then all we want to do is change the verbiage here. So let's say we keep this, and we'll just keep this looking very consistent. So this would be the yes page. They said yes. Now they're going to land here. We're going to say, thank you for recommending us. I'm going to say, please. Let's see if I can do a little copy and paste action, because I got the real live one over here on the other screen, so that'll make it nice and easy. So please share your experience and write us a 5-star review on any or all of the sites below. And then what I'm going to do is right below this, so this is the section, and here's the element. I want to add a different element, and I want to add an image. And then I'm going to go to Google, and I want to get an image of 5 stars. I might have already had this in the filter, but this is pre-frame, right? We want to keep pre-framing the customer, and we're going to search 5-star PNG so we can find one with no background. This doesn't have a background. Okay, cool. So we're going to save this. Let's just throw it on the desktop for now. We'll call it 5-star, so I remember. We're going to go back. Image. We're going to replace this image. We're going to upload a new image. We're going to go to desktop. 5-star. Here it is. Give it a second. I don't know if you guys can hear my computer humming. It's humming pretty good right now. It's ready to take a nap. So we got that. Now we're going to add that. That's that's a little large. Let's back off that just a little bit and see. Let's go to 350. Okay. So we're pre-framing. Thanks for recommending us. Please share your experience and write us a 5-star review. We're constantly recommending, because a lot of times it's hard for people to write like an excellent review. Some people just don't have that tendency to go the extra mile and give that extra feedback. So we want to constantly push them and say, hey, we're expecting a 5-star review if you really liked us. So this is just an easy way to get people to give you a 5-star all the way. Now, what we're going to do with these new buttons down here, we're going to add one more. Oops. Give me this, add a new element. We're going to add one more button. And these buttons now are going to represent the platforms that we want them to go to. So we're going to say Facebook. And if we wanted to go to the icon finder, again, they have a Facebook icon, so that's cool. We'll go to the sign up one. We're going to say that one's Google. And then, so basically you can actually give these, it depends on what your preference is. I think in basically everything that I've seen, Facebook reviews are the most powerful. I've seen a bunch of different articles. Google's number 2, and then it kind of trails from there. So I always try to recommend Facebook first. I don't know why. It's more powerful, but people just feel like, I guess, coming to Facebook, it's just they're familiar with it or whatever. And then Google, obviously, if you can actually get Google reviews, that's really good for SEO and everything for your page. So we got Facebook, Google, and then we do for us, we do Zillow. And Zillow's kind of a pain in the butt, but it is what it is. So we'll do a Zillow review. And that one needs to move a little bit. So why is that? Let's see. So now you see how these spaces, might be a little bit too spaced out. I don't necessarily like that. I want to bring this down just a little bit now that we have 3 here. And I want to take this one take this and move it just a little bit. So now we're kind of incongruency. And guys, again, if I had more time, I would, jazz these up a lot. So I just want to get the basic principle for you guys. And I'm actually going to drop this. I'll give you the finished product so you can just go ahead and put your spin on it. It'll make it much, much easier. So let's look for Google. They have to have a Google. I know I've had a Google icon in here. Maybe not. How about... No, not www. That's really weird. Maybe I'll put my own logo in there. I'll find it on the finished product. So anyway, we got our two-step going on here. So they've hit the live page. Basically, now they're saying, yes, they want to, recommend us. Here's the thank you page. Thank you for recommending us. Now all we're going to do is we're going to put these 3 buttons and we're going to force them to go to these pages. So the Facebook link, all you're going to do is come in here and set the button action, and we're going to tell it to go to the website. Now, when you do this, you're going to want to open up Facebook, right? And you're going to want to go to your page. Sakis Group. Let's pull that up. Keller Williams Realty. So you're going to want to go to the Sakis Group, or you're not going to want to go there. You're going to want to go to your page. And then on the left-hand side here, you're going to see all your different tabs, and you're going to want to go to reviews. So this is where all your reviews live, and then you take that URL up at the top, and you highlight that, and bring that back over here, and then go to website, get rid of that hashtag, and boom. And then you're going to hit enter. And you can see on the button itself, now it has a URL kind of shadowed in there. That's how you know that the link is activated. So now we have Facebook in there. Now we're going to go to Google. And you're going to type in, hopefully everybody has their Google page or their business located on Google. If you don't, please send me a private message inside our Facebook group if you have any questions on how to do that. Maybe I can do it in the training for you on exactly how to do that. So I just typed in the Sakis Group into Google. Here's us popping up here. And if you scroll down, it's going to say write a review. So this is what pops up, right? And what I want to show you is, even though this URL doesn't look like it does anything, I want you to hit write a review and then copy this URL. Because what that's going to do is it's going to bring customers right to this page exactly where you want them to drop a review. So we're going to go to this Google button, set action, enter the website, boom, hit enter, and there you go. And then the same thing for Zillow. And Zillow. Sakis Group profile. And for this, it's a little bit more complicated because the people actually have to have a Zillow page. But you say write a review. You want to go to the write a review section again, and then highlight this so they go to the right spot. Zillow. Set action. Boom. Okay, so now we have a very just basic page. Again, thank you for recommending us. Please share your experience and write us a 5-star review on any or all of the sites. And usually what I tell people to do, I don't necessarily care if the reviews are all the same. So I'll tell them just to write a review on Facebook, copy it, and then just go boom, 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 and paste it on all the other sites as well. So that it's perfectly fine. But this really, it helps you go the extra mile with the customer. It really helps them direct exactly where they want to go. And this is a really powerful way. We've gotten some really good reviews and filtered out. Believe it or not, we've had a couple of bad reviews, literally like a couple. But it's much better that we got those from us directly from the customer, instead to wake up one day and get an email from Google saying you got a 1-star review, because you never want that to happen. So We just saved all that. This is all good to go. And now let's do the no page. So let's clone this funnel step just to make this super easy again. We're going to select it. We're going to add it to the funnel. And now we're going to edit this page. And so we're going to delete the 5 stars because now we're at the unhappy customer, unfortunately. So and this one, what you can do is, because we want to give customers a place to actually, write. And so what we've done here is we've embedded a Google form for them to actually write their comments in. Because inside ClickFunnels, we don't necessarily have a text editor in there. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. And so we make this very easy. And we're going to delete these buttons because this is just a one page. We're going to delete that. And delete that. Okay, so all we're going to have here is a checkbox or a text box for them to basically fill in their stuff. We apologize, your experience was not great. How can we improve? And then we'll put a text box here. And just for the sake of time, we're right at about 40 minutes. I didn't want to take too long on this. Again, I will share the finished product with you so you have it to use in the future. But again, this is just basically going to drop in and give the customer a place to just write, and then they submit that to us, and it goes to our email. So you can see how these 3 different steps are really, really powerful and a really good way to get you guys testimonials at a very high level. So we want to rename this so we can see. Obviously, all these are opt-ins. So we want to go to settings. Actually, we're not going to go to settings. We're going to go to publishing. And that funnel step name is opt-in. So we're going to keep that. We're going to go to this page, second page, which is our yes page, publishing. And that's the yes page, update funnel step. Then we're going to go to the no page, publishing, no step. And just so I can kind of show you guys real quick what we just did, and maybe this will help on the mind mapping, if you will, so this doesn't get too confusing. So we'll go to, let me go over here, Facebook Live demo should be empty. So this was the funnel that we did yesterday. Create something in here. 3:30. Okay. So what we did is we had our opt-in page, okay, which was this page right here. And that was the would you recommend us? Okay, very, very simple. And then we took that would you recommend us, and that has a yes or a no. So if they said yes, then we would go to our other opt-in page above, which is give us a wonderful testimonial, right? And if they said yes, this is going to be going to our Google, our Facebook review, and I don't think they have old Zillow in here, so we're going to call this Zillow. So now we get those three terms in here. And then if they said no, we're going to go to this opt-in page, which gives us the ability to filter what they said, right? Again, very, very simple, not too complex, but this will save you and give you the ability to have nothing but 5-star reviews, which makes it really, really cool in the long run. So I hope you guys like this. And if you have any questions, obviously support is there inside the Facebook group. And if you have any questions on that, you can just always send me a message or just post in the group. I'm sure someone will help. But this is a really easy way for you guys to see how kind of simple it is to build a very powerful funnel. And the testimonial funnel is something that we've been using for a long, long time. Consider this saving yourself $100 a month, because there's a company out there, actually several companies, that use the same exact strategy and formula, and they end up charging you $100 a month to do it. So hope you guys love it. And that's going to be it for today, and hope you weren't too overwhelmed, but don't freak out. I promise you it's all going to be good, and I'm going to be there for you every step of the way. So here's to a great weekend. Hope you guys have a good one, and we'll talk in a little bit. See ya.